biggest claim to fame nowadays is an often repeated one. He was the Floyd of Pink Floyd. And no, he never played with that band or had anything to do with them. But Floyd Council was nonetheless an influential blues musician who inspired the rockers of the British invasion. And he lived his entire life in North Carolina.
Hey, working man, ain't nothing but a dog.
He was born in 1911 in Chapel Hill to a Harry and Lizzie Council. As a teenager in the 1920s, he would play for money on the street and often played with a couple of brothers, Ted and Leo Stroud. The trio formed a group called the Chapel Hillbillies. By the late 1920s, young Floyd had met up with a blind guitarist who was now living in Durham named Fulton Allen. Allen gigged in Chapel Hill with Council, and Council accompanied Allen to play outside the tobacco warehouses of Durham. The two hit it off, and Council became one of several members in Allen's rotating circle of musicians, which also included Sonny Terry and the Reverend Gary Davis.
There's one thing I hate to do. Stop that truck and start Susan Q. Now give it to me. Yeah.
Fulton Allen was discovered in 1935 by a white record store owner in Durham, James Baxter Long. Long also took interest in Council and had him join Allen during a recording session in New York in 1936. Long liked giving musicians nicknames, and he gave Fulton Allen the name of Blind Boy Fuller. He renamed Floyd Council Dipper Boy Council. This credit shows up on a few of the tracks released by Blind Boy Fuller, but he also had another fun nickname, the Devil's Daddy-in-Law. Floyd Council played the Piedmont blues, the popular style of that day and region. Whereas Blind Boy Fuller's playing is often upbeat and intricate, Council's is more serious, almost as if he has to fight through the emotion to get the song out. His voice tends to be more bluesy and soulful than Fuller's too, and his songs really convey the struggles he might have gone through, including going hungry, being poor, and losing a loved one.
Be ever laying upstairs, laying on my cold iron bed. Laying upstairs, laying on my cold iron bed.
In the late 1960s, Council suffered a stroke that severely impacted his musical ability. It left his throat partially paralyzed and slowed his motor skills significantly, leaving him practically unable to play and sing. He would later move to Sanford, North Carolina, and in 1976 he died of a heart attack. There are no known LPs of Floyd Council, and you won't likely find any of his 45s today. He only released about 8 singles and is known to have recorded just 27 songs in his career.
When I leave my home, I leave my baby crying.
A compact disc simply entitled Carolina Blues was released in 2005. It features 6 songs by Council, which may be the only ones that remain today. Of these, the most evocative might be Runaway Man Blues.
And it sure do grieve my mind.
Council can also be heard on recordings with fellow bluesmen, most notably Blind Boy Fuller. Even without many recordings to leave behind, we know that Council, Fuller, and the others of their generation were highly influential on the rock music that was developing in England in the 60s. Legendary band leader Syd Barrett discovered the names of Pink Anderson from South Carolina and Floyd Council in the liner notes of a Blind Boy Fuller record, and the rest was history. The mid-century blues music that was finding its way to the shores of the UK was being picked up by none other than Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Keith Richards, to name just a few. Rock music and all its derivations could not exist without the blues, and for that we have to remember names like Floyd Council. What other names do we need to remember from North Carolina? I've been working on a playlist of famous artists from this state and plan on adding more to it. Be sure to check out those if you like this, and while you're at it, go ahead and hit that like button if you liked this video. See you next time.
Walk the streets at night like a police on his beat.